Overcast morning has turned into a gorgeous Sunday afternoon for baseball as the Yankees and the Twins will try to complete this three-game set. As today, My Nine presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the defending world champion New York Yankees against the Minnesota Twins in the final game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees took yesterday's game. They've taken the first two against the Twins. And the one thing that's happened is that the guys that have to step up have stepped up. The Yankees have some injuries. Curtis Granderson's out. Nick Johnson's out. They need their 3-4 hitters to rake, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, the middle of the lineup has to step it up. And you're right, Mark Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez have picked up the pace. This was a great at-bat yesterday for Mark Teixeira. Fouled off a lot of tough pitches. Finally got one he can handle. His 7th home run of the year into the suite level at the new Yankee Stadium. He's starting to heat up. 19 RBIs in the month of May, and Alex Rodriguez has shortened up that leg kick a little bit, and the results are starting to be there for him. This was a grand slam Friday night, 19th career grand slam for Alex Rodriguez. Kind of gave the Yankees some separation in that ball game. They were able to win the first game of the series, but the 3-4 hitters for the New York Yankees starting to pick up the pace.
And the numbers are startlingly good. 4 for 7, both of them in the series. Each have a home run. Teixeira with 3 ribbies and A-Rod with 5. Let's take a look now at today's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by TGI Fridays. Nick Blackburn is going to go for the Twins, 3-1. He'll try to avoid a sweep with a 4.76 ERA. Sergio Mitre will make his second start, 0-1 with a 3.86. Last time out, Mitre not too bad against the Tigers.
No, he was pretty good in that ball game, and what you're going to look for from Mitre and Blackburn, a lot of sinking fastballs, good movement, down in the zone. If these two guys are on, they're going to get a lot of ground balls, a couple of strikeouts, but they're not strikeout pitchers. When you do get ground balls, you have to make the plays in the field. Alex Rodriguez, a tough play, a throwing error led to a couple of runs, and Johnny Damon got a mistake from Mitre, middle of the plate, a home run. But if these guys are on, you're going to see a lot of ground balls this afternoon.
Well, it should be a fun matchup, and it also should be interesting to see how Javier Vazquez is going to accept the fact that they've skipped over him again in favor of Phil Hughes. We'll talk about that decision. Vazquez is going to start next Friday. We'll talk about it next, though. Moments away from the Yankees against the Twins Game 3. This is the Yankee rotation for the upcoming games. Against the Red Sox, it's Hughes and Sabathia. Tampa Bay, it's Burnett and Pettit. And then Vazquez is going to pitch on Friday. Hi, everybody. That's John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Now, the one thing about that lineup that we just saw is that Vazquez is supposed to be pitching Monday or Tuesday because he had pitched in the doubleheader with Phil Hughes. The Yankees decided to skip over him again. What do you think of the move?
You know, I think it's the right move. Phil Hughes, he deserves this start. He's 5-0 with a 1.38. He's been the Yankees' best starting pitcher so far this year, so he's going to be rewarded with that start tomorrow night. And Vazquez, you know, he pitches interleague play. He's an experienced hitter, so that's going to work out. I wouldn't be surprised maybe he comes out of the bullpen in one of those games, though.
Now, the interesting thing is that I asked Joe Girardi about it. He said, you know what, we had to go with our best starters, which was very forthright. He also said it wasn't an easy thing to tell Javi Vazquez. How do you think Vazquez handles this emotionally?
Well, I'm sure he's not happy about it, but the bottom line is he realizes the other 4 guys are throwing better than him. He's still got a little bit of work to do, so you get some time on the side in the bullpen, and hopefully your next start against the Mets will be a good one.
All right, we'll see how it goes when we come back. Lineups, first pitch, baseball, all coming up next right here on My 9 as the Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins in the final game of a 3-game set. Brought to you in part by Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network. Nissan invites you to shift the way you move. And by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. That's another great day in New York City, and the stadium is going to be jam-packed once again. Sergio Mitre on the mound. The Yankees have taken the field. Mitre's taking his warm-up tosses, and we're going to take a look at the Minnesota Twins starting lineup brought to you by your local Chrysler dealers. Denard Span in center field will lead off. Orlando Hudson at second will bat second. Joe Mauer catches and hits third. Cleaning up and playing first base, Justin Morneau. Michael Kadire in right field will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DH, Jim Thome. Jason Kubel in left field will bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Alexi Casilla. And Matt Tolbert, the third baseman, will bat ninth.
Minnesota Twins lineup going to go to work against Sergio Mitre. It'll be his second start of the year, but his 7th appearance. Numbers pretty good. 14 innings, only 10 hits, 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting 204. And we'll take a look at our New York Yankees pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your local Jeep dealers. Second opportunity to get a start. We'll see if he can build on the first one. He needs to have a clean first inning. 10 starts as a New York Yankee. His ERA in the first inning, 8.10.
Twins coming at 22-14. The Yankees are 24-12. That's the second best record in baseball for the Yankees. Unfortunately, for them, the best record in baseball belongs to the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays lead the Yankees in the American League East by a game. Denard's man's ready. Sergio Mitre's ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is a low and inside, and we are underway.
Sergio Mitre, a sinker ball pitcher. You're going to pay attention early, see if there's some movement down in the zone. Not necessarily left to right, but you want to see some movement down. A lot of ground balls.
There's the strike. One. Given to right field. Marcus Timms drifts over. And there's one away. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available by hitting the SAP button on your television. And SAP is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota wants you to know we're working harder than ever before for our customers. Toyota, moving forward. Here's Orlando Hudson. The Yankees have done a good job in the first 2 games with the top of the Twins order. Span's now 1 for 9 in this series, and Orlando Hudson coming into this at bat is 2 for 8. You keep them off because you know you've got Mauer and Morneau after them.
You expect Sergio Mitre to have a little better performance here this afternoon because he's prepared now as a starting pitcher. He's able to throw his bullpen session in between starts. A little better routine. We'll see if it works out for him.
Foul back. 1-1. Since 2002, the Minnesota Twins here in the Bronx are 3-25. They know that, the Yankees know that, and neither side really has an explanation for it. The 1-1. Missed. 2-1.
The Yankees have won a lot of those games in different fashion, too. A lot of comeback wins, walk-off wins. Yesterday was just a good professional win against the Minnesota Twins. An outstanding start from Andy Pettitte. A couple of runs against Liriano, and then they blew it open late.
Right to Cano, 2 away. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense behind Sergio Mitre, and he makes the defense work because you put the ball in play against Sergio. Wynn, Gardner, and Timms in the outfield. That's left to right. Infield, A-Rod, Pena. Jeter's the DH today. Cano at second, and Teixeira at first. Osada behind the plate.
Pena getting a start at shortstop. Derek Jeter DHing. Expect him to be a busy man this afternoon, like you mentioned, Michael. Mitre with all those sinking fastballs, a lot of ground balls.
Here's Joe Mauer. 4 hits and 8 at-bats in this series.
A lot of those hits going the other way. 4th in the American League in batting. See if the Yankees try to combat that today and pitch him inside a little bit more. They're shading him to hit the ball the other way. A lot of room in right center.
There's a strike.
Slightly open stance. There's a little room inside.
What do you mean by that, John?
Well, I mean, he's a guy that likes the ball out over the plate. That's where his natural swing is, up the middle the other way. So you have room to get him up and in, especially. You see how he sets up.
You want to pitch him somewhere in here by his hands. The dangerous part, last year he learned how to pull those pitches a little bit better. 28 home runs.
Well, before last year, they said that the Orioles' #1 draft pick, Matt Wieters, was Mauer with power. Well, now they can't say that because Mauer does have power after last year. Just completed his whole game. There's the ground ball. This time Mitre does his own work, and he works a 1-2-3 inning against the Twins and does it with just 12 pitches. So the Twins go down in order, and the New York Yankees are coming to bat. Let's take a look at the Yankees starting lineup, which is brought to you by Blimpie, America's sub shop. Jeter the DH, Brett Gardner in center field, will bat second. Batting third and playing first base, Mark Teixeira. The third baseman, Alex Rodriguez, will clean up. Robinson Cano at second will bat fifth, batting sixth, and catching Jorge Posada. Right fielder Marcus Timms bats seventh. Hitting eighth is Randy Wynn, he'll play left. And Ramiro Pena, the shortstop, will bat ninth.
The Yankee offense has picked up the pace a little bit lately in the last couple of games against the Minnesota Twins. They're going to go to work against right-hander Nick Blackburn. We'll look at the numbers: 3-1, 4.76. A lot of hits, 48 hits in 39 2/3 innings. We'll take a look at our Minnesota Twins pitcher scouting report, brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move. He is a strike thrower, only 1.9 walks per 9 innings in his career. You better play some defense. You can get a lot of ground balls. Over 58% of his outs are ground balls. And he had a hot May. Struggled a little bit in April, but May 2-0 with a 1.69 ERA.
There's Derek Jeter. Derek hitting .396 so far at Yankee Stadium this year. 271 overall. Just came off a road trip where he was 3 for 29, so that brought that number down considerably. Derek with 2,789 lifetime hits. And the pitch from Blackburn, low and away, 1-0. .379 at home. 206 on the road. Count 1-1.
You watch Sergio Mitre work the first inning, a clean inning. Nick Blackburn, you're going to see a lot of the same things. Does not throw hard, does not strike out a lot of batters, relies on movement, has a pretty good changeup. Watch Joe Mauer behind the plate with a sinker ball pitcher. He doesn't move a whole lot after he gives a sign. Just pretty much shifts middle of the plate.
Soft ground ball to second. Hudson. And there's one out. And he's going to bring up Brett Gardner. Brett's at .322. 2 homers and 12 ribbies. 10th in the American League in hitting. On base percentage close to 400. There's one stat that I really like about Gardner this year, John, and he has 24 2-strike hits, and that's the best in the major leagues. He's not defeating himself once he gets 2 strikes on him.
When he first came up, I thought he took too many pitches. You know, tried to work the count a little bit too much. But there's no fear with hitting with 2 strikes. And, you know, to be honest, all you have to do is put the ball in play, and there's always the opportunity of a base hit. The way he runs, there really shouldn't be any fear of hitting with 2 strikes.
Today's closed captioning is brought to you by your local Lexus dealer. Twins want to keep Gardner out the bases. 17 stolen bases in 18 tries this year. And they do keep him off the bases as he looks at a called 3rd strike.
Not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, but he just gets beat by movement here. Starts at the hip, comes back to the corner. front hip sinker. And you can see Tim Cheetah, the home plate umpire, an emphatic strike 3 call. Good pitch.
Here's Mark Teixeira, takes a strike. John mentioned Tim Cheetah is behind the plate. Bob Davidson is at first. Alfonso Marquez at second. And Tim Timmons over third. Lifetime against Blackburn. Teixeira wins that battle 6 for 6 with 1 double and 1 home run. 1-2.
You know, my first thought when you mentioned those numbers, Michael, and we saw the home run from Teixeira yesterday, was a fastball down from Crane, and he was able just to drop the bat head. And obviously Blackburn being the sinker ball pitcher, a lot of pitches going to be moving down in the zone right where Mark likes it.
Teixeira hitting .333 in May, 19 for 57. He has the average off the interstate. He's at .217. 0-1-1. Check that. It's 2-2 now. And that's the difference between May and April. April showers, you know the whole deal. The 2-2. Just outside 3-2. Served into left field. Jason Kubel will make the play, and that will do it. As the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Nick Blackburn. We played 1. There's no score here at Yankee Stadium. Do you think will have the most wins at the end of the regular season? Is it A.J. Burnett, Phil Hughes, Andy Pettit, or CC Sabathia? You can text 1, 2, 3, or 4 to 71938 or go to my9tv.com. Brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward, who do you think's going to have the most wins there?
Well, the easy choice, or the hot choice now would be Phil Hughes, but boy, it's tough to argue against CC Sabathia, Andy Pettit. You could make a case for every one of those candidates.
You look at the starters, John. Sabathia with 4 wins, Burnett with 4 wins, Pettit with 5, Hughes with 5. Pretty good from your starters.
It's outstanding. And, you know, I was impressed Friday night with A.J. because I didn't think he had great stuff that night and still was in line for a win. It didn't work out because Marte had a tough inning. But if he can keep his team in the ballgame when he doesn't have his good stuff, that's when he's going to go for that big year, maybe 18, 19, 20 wins. Looks like a slur for the first time from Mitre. Good pitch down. Got through that first inning, which is always his problem. Only the 4th time in 11 starts as a Yankee he has gotten through a clean first inning.
Morneau fouls it away. Now Morneau really likes hitting here in this new ballpark. 13 for 24 at the new Yankee Stadium. In that series last May, he was unstoppable. So in 6 games, 542. Driven out to left center. Long run. That's not going to be caught. See ya! A home run into the Twins bullpen by Justin Morneau. Did he give it a ride? His 9th home run of the year, and it's 1-0 Twins.
Well, we're going to get another look at this swing and another look at this pitch. But this is a good pitch. I mean, check out the location. This is off the plate. And he just extends. When he first swung at this, I thought it was going to be off the end of the bat, a routine fly ball. Obviously, the ball carrying well the other way. But if you're Mitre and Posada, you have to tip your cap, I guess, on that one. Pretty good pitch.
Dyer takes outside.
Get another look at it. He kind of reaches out and drives it the other way. Randy Wynn can't do anything with it. Ends up in the Twins bullpen.
I think that ball really took off, John, because it wasn't a cursory look by those outfielders. They thought they had a chance.
Yeah, the wind obviously carrying the ball out to left field today. And, you know, just from the swing did not look like your typical home run swing. Looked like he was out front a little bit and had to extend, and the ball just kept carrying.
The middle of the order is doing what it's supposed to do for both teams. 3 and 4 for the Twins, 9 for 18, and for the Yankees, 8 for 15. And each one of them has a home run.
What a start for Morneau to this season. He had some back problems at the end of last year, had wrist surgery in the offseason. The injuries are clearly not a factor.
Swing and a miss as Kadire goes down on strikes. Here's Jim Thome. He pinch hit yesterday and was struck out by Damaso Marte.
First game he's starting here at the DH Sunday. Good numbers against Mitre, and only 4 at-bats, has 3 hits.
569 career home runs.
Take a look at our scouting report on Jim Thome. You mentioned 569 home runs. That's the road to 600. He made a nice adjustment. He was a batting champion in Double-A, but just hit the ball the other way, slapped it, went to instructional league, learned how to hit for power. Maybe a chance for 570 today. Mitre's 3 for 4 in his career with a double. Obviously sees the ball well out of his hand. I played against him in Double-A, Michael, and there's no way you could have predicted he would have this many home runs in his career.
Did he have a different body type, John?
You know, he was a big man back then. Obviously, he's put on a few pounds and stronger, but his whole approach was just to kind of stay inside and slap it the other way. He got with Charlie Manuel, the hitting instructor then with the Indians.
Up the middle and through for a base hit.
Charlie, who's obviously the manager of the Philadelphia Phillies, went to instructional league, learned how to pull the ball. He doesn't pull it here. He just stays on a sinker that's up a little bit and drives it right back up the middle. I'm thinking here, if you're Pena, if you can knock it down, you're going to have a chance with Jim Thome, who does not run well. He's able to sneak it through the middle. Went to instructional league, learned how to pull, and then next year at AAA was the MVP, and the rest is history.
Here's Jason Kubel. Now, did you get to know him in the minor leagues at all?
I didn't know him in the minor leagues. We played winter ball in Puerto Rico against each other.
Is he as nice a guy as people say?
He's nicer. He's nicer. And, you know, we had a chance to know each other in Puerto Rico and then played against each other all the years with Cleveland. And good chance to catch up with him Friday. Nicest guys in the game. On his way to the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Well, I got to believe 600 home runs will be on his mind, right? 569.
I don't know how he's going to get there, John. If he's playing part-time, that's a lot of home runs to get. He's got 5 already, though. He's started nice this year.
A couple of years at 20, and
you're there.
You're right there.
Is that a milestone for him? Did he tell you?
He did not mention that to me. I mean, he just says he's enjoying his time with the Twins, and you know, when you get up in the years, and I can't speak to all the things that he has done because it's a Hall of Fame career, but it just gets to the point, do you want to keep doing it? You know, does your family want you to keep doing it? So many things pulling you home, but obviously still enjoys what he's doing. Good ball club with the Twins, chance to win.
Strike 3. Kubel down looking. This week, My 9 has your ticket to Yankees baseball. Starting Tuesday night at 7, the Red Sox are in town looking for some payback. Then Thursday night at 7, the Bombers take on the Red Hot Rays. 2 big nights of Yankees baseball. Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 right here on My 9. 2 good games. Here's Alexi Casilla. There's a ground ball and grabbed by Cano, and that'll do it. But the Twins take the lead. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left. And the big hit off the bat of Justin Morneau, almost off the end of the bat. And when it landed, it was in the Twins bullpen and a 1-0 Minnesota lead. The Red Sox in the first of a 2-game set. Coverage starts at 6 with batting practice today presented by Audi and the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Ken Singleton joins John and me for the call. Red Sox, Yankees. Coverage starts tomorrow night at 6 only on Yes. Alex Rodriguez leads off against Nick Blackburn. The pitch outside, 1-0.
Kenny Singleton coming into town, and Big Poppy's getting hot too, Michael? Turn his year around.
Well, Red Sox are playing a lot better than they have played against the Yankees. They've lost 4 out of 6 to the Yankees, so it'll be interesting to see them in this record.
They got to be looking at these 2 games. The Red Sox coming in here kind of trying to make a statement saying we're going to be in this thing. Clearly Tampa Bay has gotten off to a red hot start. Yankees keeping pace.
The 1-2. Just a 2-game set with the Red Sox. Tomorrow's going to be Daisuke Matsuzaki, who actually pitched well his last time out against Phil Hughes, who's been great. And then Josh Beckett, who's had back spasms, taking BP. He'll go up against CC Sabathia. Dribbled slowly, foul.
Well, Alex Rodriguez is smiling. I don't think I have ever seen him take a swing like this. A lot of the swings in this series have been his A swing. This is not an A swing from Alex Rodriguez. Good sinker down, emergency hack. Lucky this has a spin that goes into foul territory.
Swing and a miss. So Alex down on strikes.
Good changeup from Blackburn. Talked a lot about his sinking fastball. His second best pitch is a changeup, and he can throw it to righties. Mauer setting up inside. A changeup inside to a right-hander. You do not see that very often. Alex Rodriguez was fooled. First pitcher I had ever seen do that. Greg Maddux did it to me on an 0-2 count back in his prime. Never seen a pitcher do it before.
Grounded slowly toward first. Morneau will step on the bag for the second out. You shoot Maddux a look when he did that?
No, you paid attention. I actually ran to the video room to make sure the catcher was setting up inside, because I'm like, there's no way a pitcher would throw a changeup inside, because if you make a mistake, it's going to end up in the seats. And sure enough, I forget who was catching, but he was setting up inside. It was on purpose, and he tried to do it the next at bat, and I was ready for it.
What'd you do?
A little double to left center field.
Nice.
Off a brand name.
That's a Hall of Fame brand name.
Kevin Long, hitting instructor with the Yankees, talking about the scouting report today on Blackburn. He said they'll throw changeups to right-handed hitters.
Now, why is it that people usually don't? Because if it comes out over the plate?
If you make a mistake right on right or left on left, whatever it is, like I said, usually it's a damaged pitch. It's going to be middle in, it's going to be up, and it's just easier for a hitter to hit a home run or drive a ball to the gap.
So you really have, because for those that don't know, if you're a right-handed pitcher, your changeup to a lefty would go down and away. So to a righty, it would go down and in. So you've got to really start it in. You can't start it middle, because then it's right in the happy zone.
The one thing is, if it's a good pitch for you, you have to trust it, no matter if it's a lefty or a righty, that you're going to make a good pitch. And Blackburn obviously has that confidence in his changeup, and it worked out against Alex Rodriguez. But there are a lot of pitchers who they shy away from it. I don't feel comfortable doing it, so you don't see it very often.
How much, there's the changeup right there, how much do you think the location of a changeup gets a batter out rather than the change of speed?
Change of speed will get him out front where you can make some contact. If you have the change of speed and the good action and location, that's when you have a swing and a miss for a strikeout.
Hot shot up the middle of base hit. Posada now with a 5-game hitting streak. Picks up a 2-out single, Yankees first base runner.
Good at bat, good adjustment. He saw a changeup the pitch before, and he swung and missed. Made a little adjustment. You stayed back a little bit, and it's a sinker, and it's a pretty good one. Down and away. Jorge not trying to pull it, not trying to do too much. Stays right on it, drives it right back up the middle. Jorge's been hot. Had a big afternoon yesterday as a DH, catching today.
11 for his last 32. And as I mentioned, a 5-game hitting streak. There's Timms. Pitch high. Now, why is Timms in against the righty? Well, Nick Swisher cannot hit left-handed at this point because of the biceps problem. And I asked Joe the question that you were wondering. Well, usually, if you have a biceps problem on the left arm, that's
it would hurt you
right-handed. He said, but it doesn't hurt right-handed because the arm is straight. When he torques the arm and it doesn't go straight, that's when it hurts from the left side.
See, look at you. I had a question and you found out for me.
Yep.
Doing your homework, your research early with the manager.
We put together the Joe Girardi show. So we had a half hour together. WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi show.
Well, because of that, Marcus Timms will get some extra at-bats against some righties. Not his strength. He's been feeling pretty good at the plate all year, so we'll see if he can take care of some right-handed pitching. For 7 in his career against Blackburn, so he does have some at-bats. Has not had much success so far.
That's what he's done against left-handers, and that's why they got him. 414. Hasn't been an automatic out against righties. 235. Overall 348. No complaints with the way Timms has played. 2-2.
I guess the concern today would be playing right field. And Marcus hasn't looked smooth every game in the outfield, and he's playing right field today. Randy Wynn playing left.
Posada goes on the 3-2 and 2 outs. Grounded foul. Two. Fouled away again. Makes the seats.
Blackburn coming right at Marcus Timms. As you see Curtis Granderson watching. Actually took some batting practice out on the field today. So good news for the Yankees. It looks like he's getting closer to coming back. He doesn't have any setbacks.
Out with a groin injury. Goes, and Posada's getting his running in.
We'll see who wins this battle here. And this is Curtis earlier this morning taking some batting practice out on the field. Doesn't look like he's favor anything there. It looks like a smooth swing.
Really don't have an exact timetable on Granderson. Still looking at probably 2 more weeks at the minimum. And another foul ball. Okay, so now at what point does Posada start to get ticked off?
Right now, as he's coming back to first. And you can see breathing a little heavy. It's a good battle here, though, between Blackburn and Timms. 4 consecutive sinking fastballs. Marcus has not been able to do anything with it. We'll see who gives in here. Blackburn keep going with it, or does he make an adjustment with an off-speed pitch?
This time Blackburn steps off to chase Posada back.
I think he's actually double thinking his pitch selection there. Morneau is going to play behind Posada. Looks like they might go with a changeup.
Pitch is inside, so Timms wins that battle as Posada moves to second.
Blackburn gave in mentally and changed his pitch selection. It didn't look like Marcus was going to be able to do much with that sinker. Got a little frustrated, went to a changeup, and he missed.
10 pitch at bat. And that's going to bring up Randy Wynn. each of the last 2 days before the team hits the field at like 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning. Randy Wynn has been in the batting cages next to the Yankee clubhouse, working with Kevin Long over and over and over again. Pitch after pitch, working from both sides of the plate. And he's trying to find it because he knows this is his opportunity to show something, especially with Granderson out. He's going to play a lot. And he certainly does not want to be hitting 179.
I heard Kevin working with Randy in the batting cage on the field, and you know, obviously you work harder than me. You were here earlier than I was. You got to see Randy in the cages underneath the stadium. I saw him out on the field. Kevin was talking a lot about keeping your head behind the swing. Feels like Randy maybe gets out a little bit too much on his front side. Really trying to stay back, keep the head behind the swing, hopefully see some better results. Sometimes you start drifting as a hitter and your head starts going forward this way. Everything speeds up a little bit and you miss the pitches that you should be hitting.
1-1. Didn't miss that. Rockets it into right center field. Posada will score. Timms is going to third. They're waving him home. The throw goes to third. Wynn's there with an RBI triple. And the Yankees lead 2-1.
Nice hit for Randy Wynn, a triple. He's got to feel good about that, but you love the Yankees doing some damage with 2 outs. Jorge Posada, a base hit. A big at bat from Timms, working a walk, and then Randy Wynn, I guess that head is behind the swing there, gets a sinker and just drives it to right center. Posada will score easily. Here comes Marcus Timms around second. Looking to Rob Thompson, the third base coach, gets the sign. Here comes Randy Wynn. He peaks a little bit, good speed. A couple RBIs on the triple, a big 2-out triple.
So 2-1 Yankees, and here is Ramiro Pena. And for Wynn, his 5th and 6th runs batted in.
See, Span comes up with it. He's going to relay to Orlando Hudson, I believe. Gets the relay throw and decides to go to third to try to catch Randy Wynn, but just too much speed.
Batting coach Kevin Long, obviously pumped up. Boy, he works hard.
You know what, though? As a hitter, there is not a better feeling than your hitting instructor on the top rail, watching every pitch, watching every swing. Obviously excited with the result.
Popped up, shallow left center. Casilla called off by Kubel. Kubel makes the play for the final out of the second inning. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, and that big triple by Randy Wynn as he stranded at third. 2-1 Yanks. New York City. Watch back-to-back episodes of Law & Order Criminal Intent every Monday night starting at 8 p.m. and Law & Order Special Victims Unit weeknights at 11:35. It would be a crime to miss them on My 9. It's 2-1 Yankees. The scoreboard brought to you by Boar's Head Premium Deli Meats and Cheeses. Matt Tolbert will lead off against Mitre. Yankees are looking for 80-85 pitches from Mitre.
Threw 69 pitches in that start against the Tigers. Like I said in the scouting report, if you can get him to 5 innings with the lead, if you're Joe Girardi and Dave Island, you would be ecstatic.
Rounded to first. Teixeira steps on the bag. 1 out. Now back to the top of the lineup and Denard Span. Bat day here at the stadium. Nice looking bat. You got to get one for the kids, John, or a couple.
Got to get a couple of those.
Now, I'm always curious about this. You have two boys and a daughter. Now, when you bring that back, you had to bring one for the daughter, too?
Definitely.
You do? Okay.
Definitely.
Does she play softball?
She does not. She's actually playing a little travel basketball now.
Lofted into center field. Gardner's there. But still, she doesn't want to be left out when you bring the gifts home.
No, she's got to be part of the action. And she actually had cheerleading practice today. I don't know if you knew, but she was on a cheerleading squad that was second in the nation last year.
Wow.
Went down to Disney World. The Orangetown Patriot cheerleaders had a big year. Very competitive, that cheerleading. Something new for me, new environment.
But she's got that competitive instinct from you, right? And her beauty from Malin.
It's put perfectly. Thank you.
Here's Orlando Hudson. Malin is John's wife. Count 0-1. Hudson lined out to Cano in the first inning. And the 0-1. Strike. 0-2.
Maitre looks like he's got it all going today. Good movement, pitching ahead in the count. Good changeup, nice slurve.
Strike 3. Hudson down looking. That's an impressive 1-2-3 inning for Sergio Maitre as the Twins go down in order. We go to the bottom of the third. 2-1 Yankees. With Powerball and Mega Millions, now you have 4 days a week to win. Play big, play both. Home run leaders in the American League. Paul Konerko with 13. Ty Wigginson's having a good year filling in for Brian Roberts with the Orioles with 12. And then Alex Gonzalez and Vernon Wells 10 apiece for the Blue Jays. Where's that coming from with Alex Gonzalez?
And Vernon Wells having a big bounce back year.
Derek Jeter leads off, and the breaking ball has no bite. 1-0. On the Boar's Head scoreboard, it's 2-1 Yankees.
Part of the reason the Blue Jays are respectable this year and off to a nice start.
And it shows you that a lot of it's luck, John, because last year when J.P. Ricciardi was the GM, they were trying to give this guy away, and they couldn't because the salary's so high. That one is driven into right center field. Giving chase is Span, and he makes the play. Denard Span takes an extra base hit away from Derek Jeter.
Well, Derek Jeter has to be getting a little frustrated at this point. Had one of those road trips where he hit the ball hard, right at people. And here Span, center fielder for the Twins, covers a lot of ground. Makes a nice running catch. Again, Derek Jeter robbed of a base hit.
He knows he hit it well. Here's Brett Gardner. Shows bunt. Takes a strike. Yesterday, Gardner reached on a fielder's choice, but that does not count toward reaching safely, and even stole a base. So that broke a streak yesterday of reaching base safely in 16 straight games. Count 1-1. See some of the scores from out of town. And the out of town scoreboard brought to you by Mazda. Zoom, zoom. And that one's popped up. Left field. Jason Kubel shades his eyes from the sun. Makes the second out. That's going to bring up Teixeira. Now, yesterday, Mark Teixeira hit a home run into the luxury level in right field. And he really, really crushed the ball. So I kind of did an informal survey today. All the Yankees, manager, hitting coach. What's more likely, hitting the ball into the upper deck and right, or hitting a ball in the seats over the restaurant in center field? So, John, what would you think would be the overwhelming feeling of Yankee players?
Well, the first thought that I have is obviously guys pull the ball for more power than going to dead central. You don't see that very often, so my first guess would be pulling the ball to right field.
That's pulled to right field. Not into the upper deck, but into the corner where it's fielded there by Kadire, so a two-out single by Teixeira. Well, before I give you the answer, let's see exactly where Teixeira's home run landed yesterday.
He had a really good at-bat. Fastball down. All
right, so it squeezes into the front row of the suite level. The overwhelming majority, John, think it's center field. Now, one of the few guys who said it with any certitude that he thought it would be right field is Kevin Long. But here's Alex Rodriguez's take on it, and he's at the plate right now. He said, people have hit it into the seats in center field and BP. Robinson Cano has. He said, in all the games we've played here last year and this year, no one in BP has ever hit the ball into the upper deck in right field. That's a high fly ball. Orlando Hudson battles the wind and the sun to put it away for the final out of the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left on base. We've played 3, 2-1 Yanks. Brought to you by your local Dodge dealers. Who was the last Yankee to lead the American League in stolen bases? I think I know this one. We'll go and find out all together in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's Joe Mauer. Pitch inside. Now, I did find out through further research, John, that during BP, 2 guys have hit it into the upper deck in right field. No Yankees, though. Russell Branyan and Josh Hamilton.
See, that's my thought. If you get a power hitter like Jim Thome today, you know, and you get the perfect fastball or the conditions where the wind's blowing out a little bit to right field, I think that's reachable. Boy, you really worked hard this morning.
A lot of research.
And you're proud of your research because you're telling everybody about it. It's impressive.
One thing that Alex wanted to know, though, he said that the shot to center is a killer. He said, but can you find out how long it is? So I have to find out. I don't know how to find that out, but I'm sure somebody at the ballpark knows what it is to the seats over the restaurant. Now, in the history of this ballpark, short history that it is, as Mauer goes the other way, only one guy has hit the restaurant. That's Russell Branyan during the game. Nobody else has. And we've seen Robinson Cano during BP go into the seats over the restaurant.
So the right-handed batters really only have one thing to shoot for, and that's center field.
But if you remember at the old ballpark, John, I'm sure you do, I think you were with the Yankees, and Derek Jeter went into the upper deck in the right field side from the right side. That was unbelievable.
That's incredible.
But this upper deck is reset. The other one kind of hung over. This one is way back, and Teixeira admitted that he really crushed that ball yesterday. It didn't come close to going to the upper deck. I'd like to see it. 2-2. Just missed inside.
Good pitch, good try. Been impressed so far with Mitre. Tries to go for that front hip sinker. Just doesn't get it to come back quite enough. You know, Joe Mauer is going to get the benefit of some of these calls, the close ones. I would always get frustrated with Wade Boggs when he would come up to the plate because it had to have the whole plate for an umpire to call him out.
Just on respect.
Just on respect and reputation. What a good eye he has. Matchup here of Mauer and Mitre. Anything close you would think might go to the most valuable player last year.
3-2. Line drive. Caught by Cano. Have there been at least 4 line drives this series right at Cano? So there's one away. The My 9 Comedy Club is open for laughs weeknights. Watch back-to-back episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond at 6 and a King of Queens doubleheader at 7. See what trouble Ray and Doug get themselves into weeknights here on My 9. Here's Morneau. Hit a home run into the Twins bullpen the other way in the second inning. And he's now hit safely in 14 of his last 15 games.
.371, 9 home runs now, and it wasn't a bad pitch. A slurving breaking ball down and away off the plate.
sounded like a broken bat. Fly ball to right center. 2 outs. Now the Yankees, both teams have played pretty good defense in this series, but yesterday, a lot of glove. This one was the first play of the game. Brett Gardner takes a base hit away from Denard Span. Then Andy Pettit grabs the comebacker. Nice diving play against Butera by Nick Swisher. And then Robinson Cano with the line drive fest.
He's had a few line drives hit at him today. Orlando Hudson and Joe Mauer. It looked like Robinson had a little trouble. I don't know if he couldn't pick up the ball out of the seats for a day game or if that line drive had a little bit of spin that fooled him. Still able to make the play.
You mentioned Wade Boggs, John, and he told me that at the old Yankee Stadium, I think the grade of the seats was about the same here. He said it was frightening in afternoon games. He said people wearing white shirts. He said you just couldn't see the ball. It came right out of the seats. He said you're blinded. You see it when it's right on top of you. And he still won a Gold Glove while he was there. I think he won 2.
Take a look at Robinson Cano here with this line drive from Joe Mauer and the reaction after he catches it. I don't know if it had some spin or he had some tough time picking it up coming out of the seats.
High pop-up. Brett Gardner is there. And he'll make the play for the final out of a 1-2-3 inning. And Mitre has retired 8 in a row. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Yankees up by 1.
Around you to say thank you. Raise those bats high. Thank you. Please lower your bats carefully.
Let's see the answer to the Dodge trivia question. Who was the last Yankee to lead the American League in stolen bases? Now, you might think it's Ricky Henderson, right? Well, you'd be wrong. Alfonso Soriano led the league with 41 in 2002.
I thought maybe Chuck Knobloch.
I'm sure he had a lot. But by 2001, his big years were over, yeah. There's a strike to Robinson Cano. Ricky led it in 85, 86, and 88 with the Yankees. 5 years with the Yanks.
One of my favorite teammates, Ricky Henderson.
Really?
What a I thought he got a bad rap.
Right back to Blackburn. How so?
Well, I went in there with this with the San Diego Padres, didn't know Ricky at all, and what you hear about him, he's a little bit different, talks about himself in the third person, but could not have been a better teammate. Helpful. Had the ability to kick it into another gear too, Michael. I remember going to the playoffs that year, and Ricky said, It's Ricky time now, boys. Let's go. Led off that series with a home run. We ended up getting swept by the Cardinals, but Ricky was there.
He did talk about himself in the third person, and Michael K. hates that. Now, there's so many stories about Ricky that you don't know if they're true. Whether they're apocryphal or not. Like, the best one was when John Allwood played for the Mets. And he was telling he walked up to Allwood and said, because Allwood wore the helmet on the field. And he said to Allwood, he goes, that's funny, man, because I used to have a teammate in Toronto that wore a helmet in the field. And Allwood goes, that was me.
Well, the one thing about Ricky, he did not know anybody's names. He knew his own name, but he didn't know any of them. I was known as Fla Fla. Then there was Lefty. I think it was Sterling Hitchcock was Lefty. Did not know anybody's name.
Were you Fla Fla because of Flaherty?
I guess so.
And you answered to Fla Fla.
Hey, whatever Ricky wants, Ricky gets.
I'm going to call you Fla Fla from now on. There was once when he was playing for the Yankees, I was a writer then, and he'd given me some kind of inflammatory quote. We made it into a big pack page, and so then obviously it was a story that the other writers followed up, and they asked him about it, and his response was, "I did not even talk to Stephen K." And he wasn't lying. He didn't talk to Stephen K.
How was he to deal with as a writer?
It was great because, it was almost like putting a quarter into a jukebox. You knew there was a tune coming out. He was going to give you some kind of quote. And you know what? He was one of the greatest players that you'll ever see. Posada down looking. This day in Yankees history is brought to you by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com to view our attractive lease and finance offers and to find a dealer near you. On May 16th of 2006, Yankees overcame a 9-run deficit to the Texas Rangers, and it was capped by Jorge Posada's 2-out, 2-run walk-off home run. Timms takes outside 1-0. Along with Fla Fla, I'm Michael Kay. You're watching Yankees baseball on My 9. Thank you for spending part of your Sunday afternoon with us. It's 2-1, Yankees leading. Now, if you saw him today, would he walk up and say, "Hey, Fla Fla"?
No, he would say hello and recognize me, but would have no idea what my name is.
Right. Well, Willie Mays supposedly did not remember names, and that's how he became the Say Hey Kid, because he would see somebody he didn't know and go, "Say hey." The 2-1. That one is looped to shallow right. That could dunk in, and it does. Just off the glove of a diving Orlando Hudson. A nice try by Hudson, and he's slow getting up.
Orlando Hudson has won 4 Gold Gloves in his career. You kind of expect him to make the spectacular catch just out of his reach off the end of his glove. Marcus Timms, who's had 2 good at-bats today, working a walk his first at-bat and a base hit here right off the end of the glove of Orlando Hudson. Having a nice afternoon against a right-handed pitcher. Marcus really a huge at-bat in the second inning. 2 outs, working a walk after a Jorge Posada base hit, and then Randy Wynn, the big triple.
And here is Wynn. Count 0-1. High fly ball, right field. Kadire back. On the track, he'll make the play for the final out of the 4th inning. No runs are hit, no errors, 1 man left. We played 4. It's 2-1 Yanks. The scoreboard on your screen says 2-1 Yankees leading the Twins. It'll be Tomei, Kubel, and Casilla. Again, Sergio Micho has thrown just 55 pitches in 4 innings, so a nice pitch count for him. They'll let him throw about 85, and then they'll go to the bullpen. 1-0.
Well, Michael, you talked earlier about the Twins having a tough time, and they come to New York, and you look at this series, probably saying, okay, A.J. Burnett, we have our hands full. Andy Pettit, veteran, knows how to win ball games. Looking forward to Mitre on a Sunday afternoon, but he's been lights out so far. One mistake.
Hot shot, but Cano hasn't played in short right field. 1 out.
Luxury when you're a sinker baller. You get behind in the count 2-0. You just throw it right down the middle, rely on some movement. Tomey hits it hard. Right at Robinson Cano. Easy play.
Pitch to Kubel's outside. 1-0.
Again, behind in the count 2-0. We'll see if he relies on that sinker with the movement.
John, if he's got that sinker with movement, why wouldn't he throw it all the time?
Because, you know, a major league hitter, if you keep seeing the same pitch with the same movement, eventually you're going to put some better swings on it. So you have to change speeds a little bit, change ups. Dave Island, pitching coach, looking on, some breaking balls, and, you know, occasionally throw some four-seamers, too. To keep them guessing on what you might do.
You know, we talked yesterday about how Francisco Liriano took almost 2.5 years after having surgery to return back to what he was. Sergio Mitre had the same surgery. And last year, he was not the pitcher that he was before the surgery. Now he's closer to that. High fly ball, left field. Wind. Angles himself to fight the sun, and he fights it right into his glove for the second out.
A veteran outfielder knows the tricks of the trades dealing with the sun. You see the sunglasses on, but angles his body. Waits till the last minute to commit to make the play. It was a good signing by the Yankees bringing this guy back. And just for what you said, Michael, about coming back from Tommy John surgery. And right away, they notice a little more life in the arm in spring training. Better sink on the fastball. Nice luxury to have in that Yankee bullpen as a long guy, can give you multiple innings, or if you need him a spot start, doing a nice job.
There's a strike. And he's lost the strike zone against Alexi Casilla.
Yeah, it's the last thing you want to do. You get 2 quick outs. Number 8 hitter. Doesn't have a lot of power. Challenge him here right down the middle with some movement. Force him to put the ball in play.
And he doesn't put the ball in play, and he takes a walk.
First walk of the afternoon for Sergio Mitre, and that's going to bring Dave Island, the pitching coach, out. Have a little conversation.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the aforementioned New York Yankees. What could have been said in that conference?
I just think giving him a little rest here. And, you know, he threw 69 pitches the last outing against the Tigers, so I don't think fatigue is a factor right here. But maybe Dave saw something with a mechanical issue, flying open a little bit. Some of those fastballs looked a little more left to right than down.
Count 1-0 to Tolbert. They just recalled Tolbert from AAA. Their AAA team is in Rochester. That was on May 11th. And he was hitting .232 down there in 27 games. And they recalled him when they put J.J. Hardy, their shortstop, on the DL with a bad wrist.
Manager Ron Gardenhire likes this guy. He can run. He's a switch hitter. And we talked about Nick Punto the first game maybe being a perfect twin player, and Tolbert falls in that category as well.
Mark Teixeira doing some acting there, trying to get an Emmy. Check this out. Acting as if he missed the ball. But Casilla was not buying.
See if Ron Gardenhire makes something happen here. Casilla's got a little bit of speed at first base, can steal a base. Tolbert can put the ball in play, ahead in the count 2-1 with 2 outs. Haven't done a whole lot against Mitre this afternoon.
Line drive down the right field line. It's a base hit. Timms will get the ball and quickly moving to third is Casilla. So Tolbert with a 2-out single, and the Twins mounting a 2-out rally with first and third. And Denard Span coming in.
Really one of the only opportunities that Ron Gardenhire can do something this afternoon as Tolbert gets ahead 2-1. Good speed at first base. You play a little hit and run. And Tolbert doesn't hit it all that hard, just slaps it into right field. A little first and third now with 2 outs.
Span 0 for 2. Fly ball to right, fly ball to center. And there's some stirring in the Yankee bullpen as Mitre's pitch count is at 73.
Sometimes this last out in the 5th inning when you're a starting pitcher in line for the possibility of a win as David Robertson's getting loose. Toughest out to get.
And there's a ground ball up the middle, and they get that final out. Nice play by Pena, just missed the bag, and the Yankees are lucky. If it hits the bag, probably kicks away from Pena, and everybody's safe. So Mitre does get that final out. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left. The end of 4.5, we're halfway through. 2-1 Yanks. Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. AXA Equitable, redefining standards. And by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com to view our attractive lease and finance offers and to find a dealer near you. Ramiro Pena will lead off. Count 1-0. Verizon wireless scoreboard 2-1 Yanks. Bottom of the 5th.
Change up to Pena. Number 9 hitter, you get a fastball count. You think you're going to get one to lean on, and Blackburn pulls a string. Another one. Miro Pena saying, boy, I'm getting pitched tough here. Batting 133 coming into this at bat, and Blackburn is bringing out his A game. Slider and a couple of changeups.
Rolls over on that pitch and fielded by Hudson. Pena beats it out.
Perfect placement for Pena. You can see it's going to be a sinker down. Just slaps at it, puts it in play, and take your chances. Hudson, with plenty of range, is going to get there easily, but with the speed of Pena and actually the way he came out of the box, he was on his front foot so much that he actually got out of the box in great shape and enabled him to have an infield base hit.
Let's see if they have him moving. Mauer, a Gold Glove winner behind the plate.
Blackburn really quick to the plate, too. Has not allowed a stolen base in his last 67 innings. Goes back to September of last year, so tough to run on. The combination of Mauer behind the plate and Blackburn quick to the plate.
Goes inside. 1-0. Twins trying to escape New York with just one win. They lost the first 2 games of this series.
So the Twins play a little hit and run last half inning. Be an opportunity here for the Yankees.
Runner goes. Perfectly executed. Pena will go to third. So Joe Girardi thinking along with you, Fafa.
And it's so pretty when it works out. Derek Jeter hit the ball hard. His last at bat was robbed of an extra base hit. Pena in motion, fastball in, just fights it off the other way. Hudson tries to knock it down. He slows it up a little bit, but the Yankees in business first and third. A perfectly executed hit and run. You're hitting as a batter with a hit and run. You have to let it get deep. Exactly what Derek did. Fights it off the other way.
Yankees trying to tack on to a 2-1 lead. Here is Gardner. He's 0 for 2. Struck out. And a fly out to left. One of the things we talked about Kevin Long, and John was there today. One of the things I like when the Yankees do during PP is it's not just sitting there wailing. A guy will get into the batter's box and Kevin Long will go first and third, nobody out, and he wants you to do what you would try to do during the game. So they work on situations like this, so when the batter goes into the box, he's got a plan, John.
And it's called situational hitting. And right when Brett Gardner came up here, I looked out at the defense and said, you know, not a bad opportunity to pull a bunt with you towards second base. A little bunt and run, first and third. Now obviously behind in the count 0-2. Think about that play. I mean, best case scenario, you get Pena in on the bunt and Derek Jeter into scoring position at second base. So many options when you have the speed and the ability to bunt like Brett Gardner. Now behind in the count 0-2. Battle mode, just trying to put this ball in play.
And he does not put it in play. He chases a pitch out of the zone and strikes out for the second time.
Well, good job by Blackburn. He does not go with the two-seamer. He goes with the four-seamer up. Gardner has seen two-seamers all day out of the hand. You're thinking it's going to move down, but it stayed true up in the zone. Mauer setting up high, picks up a big strikeout.
Here's Teixeira. And there's a strike.
A huge strikeout of Brett Gardner. Now you should start getting greedy if you're Blackburn and the Twins. You can make one pitch with a sinker, possibility of a double play, getting out of some serious trouble. If you're Mark Teixeira, you want to make sure you work underneath this ball, get it in the air, stay away from the double play.
Count 1-1. Blackburn will not hurt himself. He will not walk people. He averages 1.9 walks per 9 innings. He won't strike that many people out either. He has 3 strikeouts today, averages 2 per 9 innings. Popped up, shallow left, and that can't be caught by Span. Jeter hustling will go to third. He'll make it. Going to second is Teixeira. He'll make it. Pena scored. The Yankees lead 3-1 on the RBI double by Teixeira.
Mark Teixeira's gotten off to a slow start, but is hitting well with runners in scoring position. We'll take a look at the pitch by pitch. Sinker for strike 1. Sinker misses. Up, fastball, and he fights it off, just trying to get the ball in the air. Possibility of a sacrifice fly. Span did not take the greatest of routes to that baseball and can't make the play. You see Kubel coming on. He doesn't have enough speed to make up the ground. Be an RBI base hit for Mark Teixeira. You see Span kind of holds up a little bit. I don't know if he lost that ball in the sun. Usually a very reliable center fielder.
Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, talks with Blackburn. Now, what do you do here, John? It's righty-righty, but do you walk Alex Rodriguez to set up the double play with Cano?
It's definitely a possibility, and Robinson has rolled over a couple of ground balls today, so if you're Ron Gardenhire, you're thinking that maybe it's a good matchup. Robinson has not looked very comfortable against Blackburn. Alex has struck out and popped up, so he has not looked locked in either. It's one of those classic, if I get behind, I'll walk him. If I get ahead, I'll try to get him out.
Grounded foul. Now they have the infield back, so they'll give up another run on a ground ball. Including today's 0 for 2, he's 3 for 11 against Blackburn.
See what the Twins are going to try to do, and it's like a lot of major league clubs. You try to pound Alex Rodriguez inside, get him thinking about that sinker, thinking about the inner half of the plate, and then you could expand on the outer half. I'm sure the thought is also in Alex's mind. He saw a changeup inside early on in the game for a strikeout, so that's something to think about.
Grounded softly to third. They're coming home to try to get Jeter, and they get him. That's a nice play by Tolbert. So it's a fielder's choice, and the put out at home was 5-2. And Teixeira stays put at second.
Alex Rodriguez not happy. Back-to-back sinkers inside. A nice play by Tolbert going to his right. But more impressive, the throw. With Derek Jeter running down the line, the possibility of hitting him in the back, and you see Joe Mauer, a nice job of blocking the plate. He got a good throw to work with. And Mark Teixeira, curiously, still at second base. You would have thought he would have advanced to third. A great block of the plate by Joe Mauer. Gold Glover.
Well, you have to be fearless just to kick that leg out and expect somebody to slide with full force into it. Cano fouls it away.
You know, you're actually taught you want to keep your knee pointed towards third base, your left knee towards third base. And that gives you a little hinge. You see this is not the case with Mauer, that foot pointing out this way, and there's definitely a chance for injury there with the way that leg is exposed. You're taught to drive that left knee towards third base. It gives you a nice angle to prevent an injury to the knee.
Driven out into left center field, Denard Span will make the play on the run for the final out of the inning. So the Yankees get another run on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We played 5 at the stadium. Yankees 3 and the Twins 1. Let's look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Time Warner Cable's All the Best Triple Play. Detroit leading Boston 5-1. They won in extra innings yesterday. Toronto leading Texas. Cleveland over Baltimore. Seattle and Tampa scoreless. White Sox and the Royals 2-0. White Sox lead top of the third. Angels a little bit later on. Florida is attempting to sweep the Mets in a 4-game set. They lead 6-0. Sergio Mitre still in there, and he will face Orlando Hudson. Yankee bullpen is throwing, so he's on a pitch-by-pitch, batter-by-batter basis. The pitch is low, 1-0.
Big inning here for Mitre. 2, 3, 4. Hudson, Mauer, and Morneau. Obviously, a lot of the power in the middle of the lineup for this Twins team. I would think first sign of trouble, Michael, they would probably make a change here. David Robertson should be ready to go. Mentioned earlier, if you can get 5 innings with a lead out of Sergio Mitre, you feel good about it. Taking chances with the bullpen. He's done a great job to this point.
Strike.
Posada encouraging Mitre here. You want to make sure you go right after Orlando Hudson. A couple of home runs on the year, but the real power coming up behind him. Make him earn his way on base.
And he does with a line single to center field.
Feel a lot better about that than walking him. You see Mike Harkey giving the sign, waving his hat that Robertson is ready to go if Joe Girardi wants to make a change.
So Posada with a little talk with Mitre.
Mauer's hit a couple of balls hard. Doesn't have anything to show for it today.
Now you would think that could be a stall tactic, but we saw Harkey raise the hat, so, and he's waving it furiously now as if to say he's ready. He's ready.
I'm a little surprised they haven't made a change here. Like I said, Mitre's done everything you've asked. Mauer's hit the ball hard a couple of times. He's had some pretty good swings off of Mitre. But here's showing a little vote of confidence. Hey, you've done a nice job to this point. We're going to let you try to work your way through it.
It's almost funny. It's like Girardi knows that Harkey said he's ready, but still wants to give him more throws. And here comes Girardi to take the ball from Mitre.
Could it have been just as simple as Joe Girardi hadn't made his mind up yet, so you throw over to first base just to give him a little more time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be. Sometimes it's a little bit more simple than we try to make it out to be. Mitre has a chance for the win if the bullpen does its job.
Join Rosanna Scotto and Greg Kelly on Good Day New York, weekdays from 7 to 10 a.m. on Fox 5.
Well, Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon, Fios, TV, Internet, and phone. This is Beyond Cable. This is Fios. And Girardi goes to David Robertson, who has struggled, but the last couple of times he's done better. But it seems like the location is not the same as it was last year, John.
And especially getting behind in some counts. You see the ERA is inflated. He's given up a hit in 7 straight games. And he's responsible for the middle of the order right now. Some big outs if he can get them. Joe Mauer, Morneau, Kadire, and Thome coming up after him. Big spot for David Robertson.
Mauer 0 for 2. Grounded back to the mound and lined out sharply to Cano. The line out came in the 4th inning. 1-0.
You know, Michael, I think it was as easy as that with Joe Girardi. He's sitting there saying, you know what, Mitre has had such a nice afternoon for me. Probably got more out of him than I thought. You want to give him an opportunity to compete against the middle of the lineup, but you also have a bullpen that you have to trust in some big spots.
Now you have 2 lefties in the bullpen, though. Wouldn't you think about using Logan or Marte? I mean, Logan yesterday pitched 2 innings.
Threw a lot of pitches.
Yeah.
So he's probably down for today. Marte has pitched in both games in this series.
And they're probably saving him for later.
Yep.
This is just the 6th inning. So you got to go with a righty here.
But a familiar theme for Robertson early on, getting behind in counts.
Foul back.
Good swing there from Joe Mauer, too. Got a fastball up. See Posada setting up away. It's pretty much middle, right down Broadway, and Mauer takes a good swing and fouls it off.
There's a strike.
You can throw that pitch 9 out of 10 times, you're going to have a lot of success. I mean, nobody can hit that fastball if it's spotted down and away. Best thing Mauer could have done with that was slap it the other way, decided to take it.
Two. Missed, and the count 3-2.
Justin Morneau on deck. It'd be a gutsy pitch here, but David Robertson has not shown Mauer his curveball. If you can throw it 3-2 for a strike, might be able to lock up last year's American League Most Valuable Player and go with another fastball.
Runner goes. 3-2 is low. So there's trouble for the Yankees here in the 6th inning. First and second, nobody out, and the dangerous Justin Morneau coming to the plate. Morneau with a home run in the 2nd, then a fly ball to right in the 4th. And a strike.
First curveball for Robertson. Nice block by Posada, keeping that double play possibility in order. See this curveball? It's a ball right out of his hand. It bounces. Morneau doesn't even think about committing to a swing. That would be more of a strikeout curveball with 2 strikes.
Count 2-1, and that's really the biggest difference from last year. Last year, he could dot an I in his autograph, but now it seems like he's all over the place.
And all you have to do is watch a catcher behind the plate, Posada, this afternoon, and he sets up inside and has to almost jump to the outside part because Robertson missing by a lot.
That's a good pitch. Hit the outside corner.
2-1 count to Joe Mauer. He throws a perfect fastball in the outside corner, and the same thing with Justin Morneau. 2-1 count and dots that outside corner. You wonder if he gets ahead in the count or tries to put somebody away, adds on a little bit, tries to do a little bit too much, and the ball gets away from him.
And the count is full at 3-2. Big pitch here.
Tried to throw the same pitch, and again, just adding on a little bit, and rides high up in the zone as Mitre looking on, a little bit concerned. Huge pitch in this ball game.
Strike 3, got him. That's a nasty pitch right on the outside corner. And Morneau is barking at Tim Cheetah.
The 2-1 pitch was identical to this 3-2, right on the outside corner. Morneau does not like the call. Good catch by Posada. We'll take a look from overhead. And that's one of those borderline. Could go either way. A huge pitch in the ball game. David Robertson gets the call.
That's a big out for Robertson. Here's Michael Kadire. There's that breaking ball. Kadire's slumping. 6 for his last 48. But only 3 strikeouts, so he is making contact, and one of those strikeouts came in the second inning.
And they count on this guy to be a run producer. 32 home runs, 94 RBIs last year. He's got 23 RBIs to this point, but he's had a tough series, and like you said, Michael, not swinging the bat 100% right now. Holds his hands so low in his stance that you got to believe there's going to be room up and in with the fastball to beat him if you get to that opportunity. We'll take a look from the side here. Kind of unusual. He holds his hands really low. Just see somebody set up like this, you would think, you know what, I got some room above those hands.
Line drive right at Pena, and they're going to double up Hudson. So Kadire hit the ball as hard as you could hit it, but didn't place it well right at the Yankee shortstop to start a 6-4 inning-ending double play. No runs a hit, no errors, and just one man left on base. Kadire hit it right on the screws, but right to Pena. Out to the stadium on Saturday, June 5th for the Stadium Slugfest when the undefeated WBA Super Welterweight champion Yuri Foreman defends his title against 3-time world champion Miguel Cotto. Get your tickets today at Yankees.com/boxing to see the history of boxing continue at Yankee Stadium. Here's Jorge Posada. Now, we were talking earlier, John, about hitting it into the seats over the restaurant or hitting it into the upper deck and right. Now, Posada hit a shot yesterday. That was the wall of the Monument Park on the right side. It's kind of a marble ledge right there. And I said to him, I said, well, maybe you could be the ones to hit it over the seats, you know, over the restaurant. And he said, you see that one I hit yesterday? I said, yeah. He said, that's all I got.
And it was plenty. It still counted the same, right?
He said, that's all I got. There's nothing more there. He said, there's no seats. Count 2-1. The fan actually sitting in those seats where the kid with the blue hat is sitting actually caught the ball because it caromed over the marble ledge and then up over the restaurant into the seats. Rip foul. And this is the shot from last game. Ledge, seat.
Great grab.
Didn't come back to that. Joe Girardi actually said to me, he said, you know what? Honestly, he said, I don't think I could make those seats hitting from behind second base. The 2-2. Popped up. Shallow left coming on Kubel. And it's going to dunk in. The shortstop just moved and let Kubel have the ball. He wasn't even within 10 feet of it.
Now, we mentioned earlier, Kubel doesn't have enough speed to make up ground out there. That's a bad play by Casilla, the shortstop. He gave up on this way too early. You can see he thinks Kubel's going to have an easy play, but he had a lot of territory to cover. Casilla, who goes after it, and then all of a sudden decides, I'm going to peel off.
I think he peeled off because he couldn't see it.
Well, let's take a look to see. He's got the sunglasses up. He didn't flip the sunglasses down. Jorge Posada will take it.
So Posada 2 for 3, and here is Marcus Timms.
Yeah, it's unusual too, Michael, for Minnesota Twins club, where they play great defense, and you know maybe Orlando Hudson made a base running mistake last inning as well. Take a look at Posada in the swing. He really goes down, stays on it. putting it in play. It's rewarded with a base hit. But Ron Gardenhire's clubs, you don't see them make base running mistakes or defensive lapses.
High pop-up, shallow left field again. Casilla is there and puts it away. Now, you broached this subject, John. Let's follow it. Did Orlando Hudson make a mistake on the line drive to Pena?
You know, Kadire hits this ball hard, but you're taught as a base runner to freeze on a line drive, and Hudson did not freeze at all. He was taking off, and the Yankees benefited, able to turn to double play. Now, granted, the line drive was low. There was a possibility it could have hit the dirt, but it didn't. You have to make sure.
Strike.
And here is the double play. You see Hudson taking his lead. Kadire hits it right on the nose, and watch where Pena catches it. Almost, you know, at his hip. You can see Orlando Hudson rolling his head right away, knowing that he made a mistake. Veteran player who made a good base running play yesterday on the line drive, getting back to first base. Surprising to make a blunder today. Hudson made one good base running move to get back, but was also doubled off on a line drive to Robinson Cano yesterday.
Grounded to first. They go to second one. Back to first. Double play. Turned nicely. Morneau to Casilla. Back to Morneau. The score at 3-6-3. No runs a hit. No errors. And because of the DP, nobody left on base. Let's go to the 7th. 3-1 Yanks. Inning, the scoreboard brought to you by Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. Some of the headlines from yesterday. Took 12 innings, but the Tigers beat Boston 7-6. The kid Brennan Bosch continues to hurt American League East opponents. Killed the Yankees, and he's hurting Boston as well. Big pitchers in the National League. Jimenez goes 7-1. Ubaldo Jimenez and Lincecum 5-0. And the Mets, who are struggling again, moved Oliver Perez to the pen, and Jose Reyes went from the 3 spot in the lineup to leading off. And today they're losing 7-1, and Jonathan Neese left the game with an injury. So Mets are poised to get swept by the Marlins in 4 games. So we go to the 7th inning, 3-1. Yankees lead. Jim Thome will lead off against David Robertson. So Sergio Mitre gave the Yankees 5 innings and 1 batter. And then Robertson came on to get 3 outs in the 6th. So they'll piece it together with the bullpen. Now, Chan-Ho Park is eligible to come off the DL. Yankees did not activate him today, though, because they wanted to keep Ivan Nova out there in case they needed a long man. So Nova, after the game, will probably be sent down to Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and then they will activate Chan-Ho Park off the DL.
You start thinking about this game, a 2-run lead, 7th inning. Start piecing together 9 outs. Jabba Chamberlain will be available. Mariano Rivera. Jabba going through his routine.
Hot shot up the middle. Pena had to play beautifully. 1 away. Time for the Twins in-game box score, brought to you by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one today at your Tri-State Ford dealer. Well, there are not many hits out there, to tell you the truth. The Yankees have held the Twins to just 4 hits. 1 by Tolbert, 1 by Thome, 1 by Morneau, and 1 by Hudson. The big blow was by Morneau, a home run, and that's the only run in the game. The other hits, singles. There was a strike to Jason Kubel.
Well, it's 2 times Jim Thome's hit balls right back up the middle. First time he had a base hit just out of the reach of Pena. Yankees have Thome played perfectly, shading him up the middle a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Kubel down on strikes.
Good job by Robertson and Posada. They did not play any games at all with Kubel. The second fastball was right by him, so they decided to go with the same pitch. Up in the zone, right by him. Did not have a chance with the fastball, so you don't even mess around with the curveball. Just late. Sometimes pitchers get ahead 0-2 and they think they have to go to an off-speed pitch to pick up a strikeout. You don't have to.
Pitch to Casillas outside. Robertson has not gone 2 innings all year. He's gone 1.2 innings twice. They've announced the attendance here at the stadium. Another good crowd. Each day it went up 46,628 here at the stadium. The 2-0 popped up, and that'll be out of play.
Robertson looks like he's feeling it a little bit better out there now this inning. Really extending towards home plate. Has good finish.
The 2-1. Right in on the hands, grounded foul. Souvenir from bat day. He's ready to roll.
Got the Oakleys on. He's ready. Sunglasses.
And the count full, 3-2. You don't want to lose Casilla. The Yankees got into trouble in the 5th by walking Casilla with 2 outs. And they do it again. And that will cause a manager to pace and also go to the bullpen phone.
Take a look. Posada setting up away. It ends up down and in. Tim Cheetah, the home plate umpire, has called low strikes today, but that ball clearly not where it was intended to be. Dave Eiling going to go out and have a little talk, encouraging his right-hander to go at the number 9 hitter, Matt Tolbert.
Now on Friday, Girardi made a little bit of a questionable move, having Marte pitch to Morneau. Although that's his job to get out lefties. Morneau's so dangerous, and Morneau got a big hit. And I asked Joe about it, and he said, well, we've got to use Jabba judiciously. We don't want him to get 4 or 5 outs. We want to keep him to 1 inning. So they're desperate here to have Robertson get out of this because they don't want to go to Jabba to have to get out Matt Tolbert or in this case, Denard Span. Because if you get him into the game just to get 1 batter, then he's got to stay in for the next inning. And then you're extending him. And they don't want to do that. They want to be careful with him.
Yeah,
that's a balk. And you know why? That's balking Bob Davidson at first base. We told you about this earlier in the series. He loves to call balks, and he called one there on Robertson.
You see the coaching staff shaking their heads, not agreeing. Bob Davidson has a reputation. He likes to call the balks. Take a look at David Robertson.
You know what? He didn't set. You have to come to a stop, and that's what he called. Did you sense that, John? That was the reason they made the call?
That had to be the only explanation, but it's almost like if you're the coaching staff, you expect it to happen from Bob Davidson. Dave Eiling not too happy. More importantly, you want your right-hander to go after Tolbert here. Number 9 guy in the lineup, challenge him.
And that's what he did. Popped up, shallow center. Pena going out. And he makes the play. So Ramiro Pena covers a lot of ground to haul in the final out off the bat of Matt Tolbert. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6 1/2, it's time for the 7th inning stretcher at the stadium. Yankees lead the Twins 3-1, but will stay here to honor America.
And women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. And now the Kate Smith rendition of God Bless America. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join in as Yankee Stadium organist and Olsen plays Take Me Out to the Ball Game. For the Yankees, the shortstop, number 19, Rivera Pena. Number 19.
Voting is now open for the 2010 All-Star Game in Anaheim. Help send your favorite New York Yankees to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Yankees.com. Visit Yankees.com and cast your ballot now for your 2010 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at Yankees.com. Yankees looking for a sweep of the Twins. We go to the 7th inning. And they are up 3-1 on the Honda scoreboard. Yankees with 8 hits, the Twins with 4. And Ramiro Pena will lead off against Nick Blackburn.
Pena had an infield hit. His last at bat, scored a run. And the Yankees a little cushion.
Hey, World Series, I wouldn't say hero, that might be too much, but certainly a guy who did a lot to help the Yankees win the 1996 World Series. Graham Lloyd is at the ballpark, actually sitting in seats just below our broadcast booth. Left-hander, tough out of the bullpen. Got Ryan Klesko out a lot in that World Series. There's a fly ball to right. Kadire makes the play. And also, another guy who won some big games for the Yankees, he's here broadcasting. Who would have ever thought that? David Boomer Wells. He's in a suit and tie. It's very odd.
Played with David in Detroit and then with the Yankees, and never would have guessed that he would have ended up in the broadcast booth. Does a good job.
Look at him. He's all cleaned up. Tomorrow is the perfect game anniversary against these very same Twins. That's been 12 years. Time goes much too quickly. There's a strike to Jeter.
You know, just when you see Boomer doing the game on TV there, my first thought was, from a catching standpoint, if you put a sign down, he would throw it for a strike. As easy of a guy to catch as there was in the game.
Ground ball to third. Tolbert's there. Gets Jeter. Now, he threw everything the catcher said, or did he ever shake you off?
No, he would never shake off. It was basically, you put it down, he'll throw it. And like I said, he'll throw anything for a strike, changeup, curveball. And after the game, if it went well, he was going to get all the credit, which was he deserved, obviously. And if it didn't go well, sometimes he would throw little jabs out there to the media. Like,
really?
I shouldn't have thrown that curveball in that spot. And, you know, as a catcher, you'd start thinking, okay. Well,
but he never said the catcher shouldn't have called it.
No, would never throw you under the bus. But, you know, being a catcher, you took it personally when your guy lost or maybe had a bad game or threw a bad pitch. But always pay attention.
And there's Graham Lloyd. A lot more gray in the beard than in 1996. That 96 decision to keep Graham Lloyd on the roster was remarkably similar to last year with the Yankees. Should they put Marte on the roster? And there was a big back and forth about it with Graham, and they decided to put him on the roster. He didn't pitch well for the Yankees when he came over from the Brewers. They put him on the roster, and again, Ryan Klesko must see him in his dreams. Every time Klesko came up for the Braves in that series, boom, that was time for Graham Lloyd. The 2-1. Dialed away.
Remember Graham Lloyd, just from, I never played with him. Actually did a fantasy camp with him. But remember that Tino Martinez when he got hit in the back by Benitez?
Yes.
Graham Lloyd, just from those
throwing punches.
Oh, he's fired up.
Knowing how you are,
right?
knowing how you would have loved being a teammate with him. He was that sort of guy. Always had your back. That one is chopped, left side, through for a base hit. So Brett Gardner with a 2-out single.
Brett kind of had a tough afternoon until this point. Just puts it in play, gets it by Tolbert into the outfield for a base hit. Brett's maybe sliding in the box a little bit forward. We haven't seen him do that this year. He's really been on a roll since opening day. Slowed down a little bit lately, but picks up a base hit, and obviously the stolen base a possibility here.
There's Mark Teixeira, and Blackburn gets him to pop up. Kubel coming on and makes the play. It's a tough sun field out there. Kubel has struggled. No runs a hit, no errors, one man left. Let's take this baby to the 8th. 3-1 Yanks. He was going. Twins as we start the top of the 8th inning. Let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard as we move along. And it's brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Toronto's gotten off to a real nice start. Baltimore has not. Cleveland leads 3-0, bottom of the 7th. How about that? Tampa Bay losing a game 1-0. Kansas City 3-2 over the White Sox. Oakland and the Angels will start shortly. Mets trying to get back in that game, lead Florida lead 7-3. Cincinnati over St. Louis, top of the 7th. 7-1 Atlanta over Arizona, top 6. Pittsburgh 3-1 over the Cubbies, bottom of the 4th. And the surprising Nationals 1-0 over the Rockies. Houston and San Francisco a 4:05 start. Dodgers and the Padres also 4:05. And Philadelphia and Milwaukee is a Sunday night game. Top of the 8th inning, new pitcher for the Yankees is Jabba Chamberlain. And he'll face the top of the order, starting with Denard Span. And there's a strike. Bravura performance by Chamberlain on Friday. Came into the 8th inning, struck out the side. Pick up the win. 2.16. 21 strikeouts in 16 2/3. He has adapted or readapted nicely to the 8th inning role.
And that Friday night with those 3 strikeouts, proud of his fastball. Didn't go to the slider very often. Struck out the bottom of that lineup that night. Today he's going to get the top 3.
There's a strike. It does tell you one thing. If you didn't realize it before, you have to realize it now. As a starter, Jabba consistently threw 91, 92 with the fastball. And now as a reliever, he's always at 94, 95. Sometimes he'll go to 96. In Detroit, he got up to 98. So it's a different animal. For one inning, you just let it go. You don't try to pace yourself.
And we mentioned Friday night, too, the look that he had in his eye. And I think that's a difference, too. And we saw that from Phil Hughes last year as a reliever. You come out with different body language where you know you can just go get after it for one inning, attack. I like that there. He's just coming with a fastball. Saw that Friday night. Throw that hard. Now you have Span sped up for that slider. Might be able to sneak one underneath his hands, down and in.
Did he go? No, he did not, said Tim Timmons at third.
Good pitch, good call by Tim Timmons. We'll get a look from the side. It did not go. Tough to do when you see 4 fastballs in the mid-90s and then get a good slider down and in to hold up your swing.
Two. Still 2-2. Greg Golson has taken over in right field for Marcus Timms. The 2-2. Looped into left field, a base hit for Span. So he is 1 for 4. Pretty neat scene before the game. Hall of Fame President Jeff Idelson brought World Series rings from every decade where the Yankees won a World Series to the ballpark. And there's a 99 one. And the first one is from 1927. And the Yankees are going to be honored next weekend as the Hall of Fame celebrates a World Series weekend. And today he got the 09 one from Joe Girardi. And next weekend is big for Yankee fans in Cooperstown, May 22nd and 23rd, as it's World Series weekend. The World Series trophy is going to be there. Special Yankee-themed programs highlight the weekend schedule. Hudson rounds into the 3-6 force for the first out. And Jeff also said there are items from the core 4 there. And Jeff actually used to work for the Yankees as their media relations director. Good guy, president of the Hall of Fame now, and you know he's going to do it right. So if you have time and you're going to be in Cooperstown next weekend, that's a good time to go if you're a Yankee fan. Some cool things are going to be on display from last year. Mariano Rivera's postseason cap, Derek Jeter's Game 6 bat, Andy Pettit's World Series cap, Jose Molina's catcher's mask, as well as Posada's, Johnny Damon's spikes from the Game 4 double steal, and check this out, the scorecard of Susan Waldman, the first female World Series broadcaster, and that'll be from her Game 6 scorecard.
Very nice. I hope her scorecard is a lot neater than ours.
Oh, Susan. The 1-0 outside.
Dangerous pitch here for Jabba Chamberlain behind in the count 2-0 to Joe Mauer. 2-run ball game. So Mauer hit a home run the other way earlier in this series.
Count 2-1. 3-1 Yankees lead. Yankees trying to sweep out the Twins. And since Ron Gardenhire took over the team, Twins are 3-25 in the Bronx. Just an amazing stat. And I'll tell you why it's really amazing as we move forward, because I wanted to research this and see. 2-1. I keep saying, well, the Twins always bring good teams in here. Do you realize that since 2002, the Twins have won 731 games? Only 3 teams in baseball have won more since that time. The Yankees, the Red Sox, and the Angels. So these are good Twin teams. I mean, you would almost think a bad team would win more than 3 games by accident out of 28. But they haven't. The 3-1. And Maurer walks. So now the Yankees have themselves a dilemma. First and second, 1 man out, and the dangerous Justin Morneau coming up to the plate. Under Gardenhire, these are the worst numbers on the road for them. 3-25. Red Sox 9-15. Angels 14-22. Athletics, for some strange reason, they don't have a very good number against. And the Indians 35-44. They play more games against the Indians because of the unbalanced schedule there in the Central. They see them more. Twin fans out. I don't know if they're out in force, but they're certainly here at the ballpark representing. Big cut by Morneau. He's trying to make it 4-3 Minnesota.
Well, hunting a first pitch fastball, and he did not get it. Java goes with the slider down, swings right over the top. That's just Morneau taking a chance right there. If I get a first pitch fastball, we have the possibility of getting a lead. He did not get it.
The 0-1. Foul back.
Java's lucky that pitch was fouled off. That was not his best slider. And Morneau, a look of frustration. Check it out. That is a cement mixer right down the middle. Ball just spun. Morneau, a look of frustration because he knows he got a mistake and he fouled it off. We're having a little talk. If you're going to throw that slider again, let's bury it down and in. I'll block it for you. A lot of options now. You can go fastballs up in the zone to change Morneau's eye level. You can go a slider down and in, try to get him to swing over the top.
Missed inside with the fastball. Count 1-2.
Good pitch, though. That's what an 0-2 pitch is supposed to look like. Off the plate, if you get the call from the umpire, great. If not, you've got Morneau thinking about a different pitch now. Mid-90s fastball after he's seen a couple of sliders.
Swing and a miss. Got him on the slider. Nice pitch in there by Chamberlain to get the dangerous Morneau.
Yeah, it's a really good sequence from Jorge Posada and Java Chamberlain. First pitch slider, hunting a fastball, swings right over the top. Mistake, fouled off. Good fastball inside to get him thinking about another pitch, and then a perfect slider down and in for the strikeout.
Java has now struck out at least 1 hitter in 7 straight games. And that's going to bring up Kadire. First and second, now 2 outs. That was a curveball.
Surprising. Seen mostly fastball slider as a reliever from Java this year. Decides to go with the curveball. Backs up for ball 1. There could be something in the report with Kadire. He hits the slider better than the curveball. These guys have plenty of information in those reports.
Got a good slider today, 1-1.
Curveball first pitch, comes back with a slider. Kadire fooled. It would look like a fastball coming out of the hand.
Mariano ready for the 9th, or if he has to come in and get an out here in the 8th. First and second, 2 men out. Yankees up 3-1, top 8 at the stadium. The 2-1. Slider again, 2-2.
I've got Jorge Posada in a bad spot. It looked like on the inside of the right calf, maybe right ankle. See him opening up, protecting against the slider to block it. Oh, hits his right foot. The only open spot there with that gear, and nice job by veteran umpire Tim Cheetah giving him a little time to shake it off.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees up by 2. 2 on. Crowd of 46,628. Looking for a strikeout from Java Chamberlain. Foul back.
Good pitch. He went with all off-speed pitches before that. He tried to sneak a fastball by Kadire. Good pitch and a good job by Kadire just being able to get a piece and foul it off.
Now Posada wants to talk with Chamberlain. Span single to left to open up the inning. Orlando Hudson hit into a 3-6 force for the first out. Joe Mauer walked, putting runners on first and second. Justin Morneau struck out for the second out, and that's where we stand right now. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Yankees up by 2. Punched out and knocked down by Teixeira. Everybody's going to be safe. Looked like it might have knuckled in the air because Teixeira reacted in time. It looked like it hit off the heel of the glove. So the bases are loaded for Jim Thome.
So Robinson Cano looked like he had a little trouble with the line drive. It's a slider. Kadire slaps it the other way. It looked like it hit off the heel of maybe Mark Teixeira's glove. We'll see how he reacts here. Looks like he was caught a little flat-footed. Wonder if the spin on the baseball or maybe coming out of the shirts in the stands.
Well, game's on the line. So Joe Girardi's going to bring in his closer, Mariano Rivera, to try to get Jim Thome. 2 Hall of Famers, one-on-one next. New York Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by Acura. Acura Advance. Canada. Keep exploring. And by your local Lexus dealer. Well, you want a little Sunday drama? We got a little Sunday drama for you. Bases loaded, Yankees are holding on to a 3-1 lead. And surefire Hall of Famers, Jim Thome, he had the 569 home runs, and Mariano Rivera, who should be a first candidate, unanimous selection, is going to try to close it. Has yet to give up a run this year. 11 innings, 10 strikeouts, sat out almost 2 weeks with a bad side, right side. But he's okay now. Did not go on the DL. And now he faces up against Thome with the bases loaded. Thome is 1 for 3 today. Cutter is inside. In his career, 3 for 14 against Rivera. 1 of the 3 a home run. Yankees have Pena pulled up the middle, and they have Cano playing in short right field defensively. And the count 2-0. No place to put Thome, obviously.
Wonder where that pitch was. Mariano had a little hesitation. Tim Cheetah did not give him the call. Looked like a pretty good pitch. Maybe cuts off the plate inside. Mariano used to getting that pitch.
And now 3-0. Obviously, if the Yankees are going to save this game, it's going to be a 4-out save for Mariano. 3-0. There's a strike ported right down the middle.
Thome taking all the way. I think he's looking for a cutter inside. See if he tries to clear it out early.
Now it's 3-2.
5 consecutive pitches on the inside half. See if Mariano tries to freeze him with a cutter on the outside corner, a little backdoor cutter.
$46,000 plus. Here at the ballpark on the corner of 161st and River. Hudson at third, Bauer at second, Kadire at first. Yankees leading 3-1, top of the 8th. Here's the payoff. They'll do it again.
Went inside with another cutter. 6 in a row on the inside half.
The Yankees are asking Mo to do something he hasn't done all year, more than a 3-out save, but he needs this one first. Payoff pitch again. Missed. And a walk to Thome that forces in a run. Orlando Hudson touches up, and the Yankees now lead 3-2. How often do you see Mariano Rivera walk a batter with the bases loaded?
We'll check out the pitch by pitch. First pitch cutter, down and in, ball 1. Close pitch, doesn't get the call. Another cutter down, misses. Right down the middle for strike 1. Cutter in, foul off for strike 2. Another foul ball. And he misses up and away.
So now the tying run is at third base. Pinch runner is Drew Butera. He's at first for Thome.
Kubel 2 for 5 in his career off of Mariano. With 5 at bats, but he's mixed in a couple of hits.
And now Dave Island wants to jog out and talk with Mo. So rare to see him not throw strikes whenever he wants to.
Repeat that delivery time and time again. That's why he's been so accurate. And the only time Mariano gets in a little trouble, he leaves a little bit early with his front shoulder. Kind of comes around that cutter, will cause him to yank it down and in. I wonder if that's maybe what Dave Island saw.
That's just the 4th time that Mariano had a bases loaded walk. Last time was back in 2005. That one's driven deep to right field. Giving chase is Golson. See ya! A shocking grand slam off the bat of Jason Kubel, and the Twins have taken the lead. They are up 6-3.
To see Mariano walk somebody unusual, but to see a home run, and more importantly, a grand slam, Almost unheard of for Mariano. Kubel had a tough day going into this at-bat. Now has 3 hits and 6 at-bats against Mariano, and this is a big one. Another cutter, down and in, was able to drop the bat head and keep it fair.
Grounded foul.
So used to seeing left-handed hitters, they might be able to pull it, but they always pull it foul. Kubel able to keep it fair right down the line. Twins lead 6-3.
That coaching staff does not watch that very often. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. Gave up a grand slam on April 17th of 2009 against the Angels. That's the last grand slam he's given up.
First runs Mariano's given up this year.
Strike 3, Casilla down looking, but boy, oh boy, the damage has been done as the Twins put a 5 spot on the board against the Yankees' 2 best relievers, Jabba Chamberlain and Mariano Rivera. The big blow, a grand slam off the bat of Jason Kubel. 6-3 Twins as we go to the bottom of the 8th. We asked, which Yankee pitcher do you think will have the most wins at the end of the regular season? Your choices were A.J. Burnett, Phil Hughes, Andy Pettit, or C.C. Sabathia. And you voted this way. Very close voting. Wow, 37.8% wins just barely over Phil Hughes. 20% think it's Pettit. 4.8 A.J. Burnett. That's our Toyota text poll. Toyota moving forward. Brian Dunsing, the left-hander, comes on in relief of Nick Blackburn, who now can get himself a win if the Twins bullpen does a job. And that's what Dunsing's done so far this year. Alex Rodriguez leads off. Rodriguez, Cano, and Posada. A lot of elements to that inning, and the one that jumps out at you is the line drive that was hit at Mark Teixeira that I would think 9 out of 10 times he would catch. He knocked it down, then it rolled away from him where they couldn't get the play at first. And that was the last batter that Jabba faced to load the bases, and they had to bring in Mo. And then Mo issues that walk with the bases loaded. First one in 5 years. And then the grand slam by Kubel.
Well, we kind of mentioned it earlier when we saw Robinson Cano have trouble with a line drive. Got to believe Mark Teixeira, the same thing, coming out of the seats. Clearly a play that he makes 9 out of 10 times.
Nick Punto is a new third baseman for the Twins, taking over for Tolbert. So can the Yankees rally the 1-2? Grounded to deep third. They'll try out Punto right away. The throw is high, but a nice play by Morneau, who eludes Alex Rodriguez. Take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by Ford. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Drive one at your Tri-State Ford dealer today. Yankees have 9 hits, 2 by Teixeira, 2 by Posada, and the other ones spread out liberally throughout the lineup. Win that big 2-run triple. Pena with a single, Jeter a single, Gardner a single. Alex Rodriguez and Robinson Cano are hitless. And here is Robinson Cano. Right back to the mound. Knocked down by Dunsing. 2 outs.
Robinson Cano hits this ball hard right back up the middle, left on left. Nice athletic play by Dunsing. Knocks it down, falls right in his glove. Easy play to first base. 2 quick outs here in the 8th inning.
We have not seen John Roush, the closer. And if it gets to the 9th, we will. And he is the one who has filled in capably for Joe Nathan. Here's Posada, who is 2 for 3. The Yankees have to be a little bit stunned, like the fighter who never gets hit hard. You don't expect Mariano Rivera to blow a game in that fashion. When Mariano blows games and it happens, It's usually little bloopers or bleeders or things like that, John. It's odd to see a home run against him, especially a home run of that magnitude.
And it looked like a cutter that just kind of fell down and in instead of going across the plate. Just ended up in a good spot where Kubel can drop the bat head. And also, Michael, a Minnesota Twins ball club lost a couple of games early in this series and didn't look like they had a lot of life today. One swing of the bat, 6-3 lead.
And you know, with all the horrors that have happened to the Twins here, Ron Gardner does not feel comfortable right now. He'll feel comfortable when the third out is recorded in the 9th inning.
Feel comfortable when they're on the plane to Toronto if they can get this game.
Two-1. Count 3-1. Six-3 Twins. That home run just pulled the electricity out of the crowd. Grounded foul. They were standing and they were roaring and they were anticipating another victory. And now, if it's going to be a victory, it's going to be of the comeback variety. Brian Dunsing deals a 3-2. And Posada continues his good day with a 2-out walk. Now here's Greg Golson. But it looks like they're calling him back. And they're going to send up Nick Swisher. Now Nick Swisher can only hit from the right side.
Let's see if Ron Gardenhire knows that. Could make a change with the righty throwing in the bullpen for the Twins.
And it's announced that he is going to bring in the right-hander. Now the question is, do the Yankees allow Swisher to hit right-handed? Decent questions. They can pull Juan Miranda off the bench and send him up, and that's exactly what they're going to do. It'll be Miranda against the righty. Yankees are trailing 6-3. Stay right here. Brian Dunsing walks Posada with 2 outs. And Joe Girardi sends up Swisher, a switch hitter who can only hit from the right side now because of his left bicep problem. It bothers him too much when he bats left-handed. So Ron Gardenhire knew that, brought in Matt Guerrero. Joe Girardi did not want Swisher to bat righty against the righty, so he brings in Juan Miranda, the lefty, to hit against Guerrero, and those are Guerrero's numbers.
We saw Guerrero the other night, a sinker ball pitcher. Good movement down.
And Miranda takes low. They're going to get creative defensively. In the outfield, I guess they're going to have to live with Juan Miranda, who's a first baseman playing in right field. That's the only thing I could figure. I know they've been working Cervelli in the outfield. Swing and a miss.
Miranda trying to stretch out this inning. Yankees would like to add a run or two here, but if they can, at least you're trying to get back to the top of the order for the ninth. Get a crack at it. Good changeup from Guerrero as Randy Wynn on deck.
You know, another way they can go, John, and you'll see how he swings through this change. They could go with Pena in the outfield and just move Jeter from the DH to shortstop. One-two, swing and a miss. Got him off speed. So the maneuvering pays off for the Twins. No runs, no hits, no errors. One man left. We go to the ninth. Let's see who's going to play outfield for the Yankees. The Yankees lose their DH. They'll have Jeter come in to play shortstop, and the shortstop, Ramiro Pena, will go out and play right field with all the maneuvering. And there's a new pitcher as well. Mariano gave up the home run to Kubel, the grand slam, so now they bring in Ivan Nova. And Nova pitched one game, 2 innings in Detroit, did not allow a run. Now, we had inadvertently told you the last grand slam that Mo gave up was 2009. That was the last grand slam that Jason Kubel had hit. Well, the last grand slam that Mo had given up was May 6th of 2005. And it's only the 4th time that he has allowed a home run with the bases loaded. And right now, that's the difference in this game. You know what? I messed that up again. The last grand slam he allowed was July 14th of 2002. So it's been about 8 years. And Bill Selby of the Indians did that. And so this is only his 2nd since 1995. And in 95, he had just come up, finding his way. 96, he was a setup man. Nick Punto's first at bat.
Michael, you mentioned Nova pitched a couple of scoreless innings in Detroit, his major league debut, and looked pretty good in that outing. A nice, easy, smooth delivery, some good sinking action. Give up a couple of hits and not walk anybody.
Count 2-2 on Punto. If you're looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth, Wynn, Pena, and Jeter. And also, if you're keeping score at home, with Jeter in the field, the Yankees lose their DH, so now the pitcher would hit in the number 7 spot in the lineup, vacated by Miranda. It's amazing the difference in the sound in the ballpark. It's like the crowd is stunned. They just can't believe what they saw, and a lot of them are leaving. It's like somebody just took the volume knob and turned it all the way the other way.
Yankees trying to get through this inning clean, and then you're going to have to try to do it against John Roush, the closer for the Minnesota Twins, taking over for Joe Nathan, who's going to miss the year. Just looking at his numbers, 14 innings, he has only walked 2 people. So you're going to have to go up there swinging the bat, try to get on base.
Punto really hanging in there. Punto, Span, and Hudson 9-1-2 against Nova. Nova is the 5th Yankee pitcher. Mitre started, turned a 3-1 lead over to the bullpen. And that one served into left field. It's a base hit in front of Wynn.
So Punto did not get the start today. Comes in for defensive purposes, then gets an at-bat. Has a good one. Fouled off some tough pitches, slaps it the other way. Start off the 9th inning.
See if the Twins play for 1 run and have Span bunt. Or try to open it up. And he bunts foul. I don't know if I'm in love with that, John. I mean, I think you'd want to just try to put as much distance between your team and the Yankees and a bunt. Okay, say you score that run, and all of a sudden it's 4 runs. It's still reachable with 1 swing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Spano had a good at-bat. His last at-bat had a base hit. And maybe if you want to try to bunt for a base hit, that's a different story, but I'd like to see more hit and running here with a 3-run lead if you're the Minnesota Twins. Span behind in the count 0-1.
Nova, in all likelihood, is going to be sent down after this game. Chan-Ho Park is ready to be activated off the DL. They kept Nova activated today in case Mitre needed a long man. But Mitre gave the Yankees 5 innings and 1 batter. Count 1-1. That time he wasn't bunting. Now, when he did try to bunt and bunted foul, Ron Gardenhire was visibly upset in the dugout, as if, why is he bunting, or did he miss a sign? So maybe he did miss a sign or wanted to bunt on his own.
Well, it brought Alex Rodriguez in on the grass, too, so he can try to slap one by him.
Count 2-1. Scott Alger, the third base coach, going through the signs.
Could be a possibility for that hit and run we were talking about early on. Punto has had a couple of looks at Nova and his delivery home. Span ahead in the count 2-1.
Now it's 2-2. I noticed the same thing you did about Nova in Detroit, John. So smooth, and the ball kind of jumps on you. Doesn't look as if he's doing max effort to throw 92 miles an hour. Very easy leg kick, and arm swings through nicely.
Yeah, it looks like he's pitching at about 80% effort and ball jumping out of his hand. So many kids come up from the minor leagues to overthrow a little bit, trying to throw a little harder. Still the same game plan. Get ahead in the count, execute your pitches.
Two, runner goes. Foul ball. Span today 1 for 4. He actually started that 5-run inning in the 8th with the single to left off of Jabba Chamberlain. And then it kind of unraveled from there. A 3-1 Yankee lead has turned into a 6-3 deficit. The 2-2. Grounded toward first. They get the force at second as Span reaches on the fielder's choice. Very confident throw by Teixeira. That was not as easy as a play as he made it look.
What he liked about that play, watch Mark here. He fields a ground ball, takes a couple of steps in on the grass to give himself a throwing lane, and a little touch throw right over the back of Nick Punto. That made the whole play there. The few steps towards the infield grass to give himself a throwing lane.
So one down, that's going to bring up Orlando Hudson. Now Span is a threat to run. Yankees thought he was running as they pitch out.
See what Tony Pena, the bench coach, is thinking right here. Possibility of going back-to-back pitch outs. Banking on Span running here.
Low on the count, 2-0.
No run, no pitch out. Tony's going to go through a series of signs, letting Jorge Posada to let Nova know what to do. A little slide step possibility, throw over to first. That sign right there is you're on your own, you call it.
Runner bluffed. Now, why would you call certain plays and then that one he goes, all right, you call it?
No, there are certain times that coaches, you trust your players and say, I don't have a feel right here if he's going to run. What do you think? You go for it. See if he goes back to the signs or if he's just going to tell Jorge you're on your own again. Obviously, Jorge Posada knows what he's doing back behind the plate.
Runner goes. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Span.
Ninth of the year for Span. Posada going to go up and talk probably about signs with a runner on second base. And pretty good jump.
I wonder if the twitchy fingers were a tip that he would steal, or if he twitches the fingers all the time. That's something that coaches will watch from the bench. 3-1. And we just checked with a couple of other leads that he had, and he does twitch his fingers all the time. There are twitchy fingers and then itchy fingers. He's got twitchy fingers. 3-2. Line drive into center field. It is a base hit. Span rounds third. They're going to hold him up. Jeter cut the ball off. He never thought that Span wouldn't score. He cut the ball off right there, and for some reason, Span was not waved home by Olger. Now, the reason is Joe Mauer's coming up.
And Olger's kicking himself a little bit because he's thinking the same thing that Derek Jeter was thinking. You see Span gets a good jump, knows it's going to be down in front of Brett Gardner, and he's already a few steps around third base when the third base coach Olger holds him up. Brett Gardner does not have the strongest throwing arm. Derek Jeter not thinking there's even going to be a play.
So here's Joe Mauer. Mauer has walked twice. He's 0 for 2. Let's see if they can turn 2. There's 1. And there's 2. So Nova works a scoreless 9th inning. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base. Last licks coming up for the Yankees. Do they have a rally in their bones? We'll see as they trail by 3. That's when the walk-offs became the thing. The pies, the celebrations, the late-inning heroics. Well, if the Yankees are going to win this game, there's got to be a pie involved and definitely a comeback. The Yankees had 15 regular season walk-off wins in 09 and 2 in the postseason. The Yankees were 21-0 this year, leading after 7 innings before Mo gave up the slam. John Roush, the closer, deals to Randy Winn. 6-9-0, leading 3-9-0. Nathan went down in spring training. He's out for the year, had surgery, and people panicked. The Twins are built to win this year, a new ballpark. They're going to have closure by committee, and then they settled on Roush because he has closed before, but with the Nationals. So he has 9 saves.
2 walks in 14 innings.
That one is lined into center field, a base hit for Winn. His second hit of the afternoon.
You see a closer's numbers, only 2 walks in 14 innings. You have to go up there and swing the bat. He's generally not going to give you any free passes. Randy Winn took a first pitch for a strike, but then gets a fastball up and drills it right back up the middle. Roush, a big man, does not have an overpowering fastball. It's a nice little cutter, two-seamer.
Here's Ramiro Pena. New left fielder is Delman Young. And Pena thought about reaching on the bunt, but bunted foul.
If you're Randy Winn, you did your job, a base hit to get on base. Now Pena trying to follow suit. Just find any way you can to get some runners out there for the top of your lineup and the power guys in the middle.
Line drive. If it's fair, it's trouble. It's a foul ball.
Good swing from Pena. Just could not keep it fair. You got to pitch up in the zone. If this at bat doesn't work out, this is the one you're going to be kicking yourself about. Good pitch to hit, just a little bit too quick.
Kept tucking and hooked right into the seats. Missed outside. I wonder if the fact that Roush is so big but doesn't throw that hard actually throws you off a little.
It does. You stand in that box and he's a big man, and you expect, all tall, burly right-handers are going to throw hard. The ball just never gets there. Maybe a reason why Pena was a little bit too quick.
And the Yankees have another base runner. So if anything, they're going to bring the tying run to the plate.
Nice at bat for Ramiro Pena. Had a fastball to hit. He pulled it foul, and he gets a curveball down and just shoots it into right field. So the 8-9 men in the order have done their job, and a good pitch down. Pena just stays through it. Lets the bat go right out towards the pitcher. Stays in the zone a long time. Now you turn it over to the top of the lineup and Derek Jeter.
John, so much of sports is mental. How many Twins are thinking about all the times they've lost here?
I'm sure Mr. Gardenhire, the managers, that thought is going across his mind.
Yankees 12-2 at home. Best record in the majors at home. Twins 3-25 here at the stadium since 02. Jeter swings and misses.
Jeter had a big cut there. It looked like he was thinking about a 3-run home run to tie it up. Instead of it being a fastball, it was a little cut fastball. Not a whole lot of movement, just enough for Derek to swing right through it.
Another big cut by Jeter. Count 0-2.
You got a fastball. Mauer setting up away. It runs up and in. Another big swing, like you said, Michael. We'll see if Derek tones it down a little bit behind in the count. 0-2. Fight one off the other way.
The 0-2. Grounded foul.
Good pitch. Twins thinking the same thing. Derek would go the other way with 2 strikes. Had 2 big swings. They tried to run a fastball in on his hands.
Win at second, Pena at first. Nobody out. Yankees down by 3, bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees had a 3-1 lead, but the Twins put a 5 spot on the board in the 8th inning. A Jason Kubel grand slam off Mariano Rivera gave the Twins the lead. Can they hold on? The 0-2 upstairs. Right in on the hands, and it's fouled away.
A little cutter in on the hands. You see Mauer setting up inside. Tried to throw a front hip cutter to Derek Jeter, and he was able to foul it off.
Roush gets the sign. And the 1-2. Jeter could not hold up. A pitch in the dirt. Jeter down on strikes. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th.
Well, Derek saw some cutters. He saw some 2 seamers. First pitch cutter, swings through it. Fastball right by him. Fastball sinking. High fastball. Cutter he fouls off, and then he finally goes to the curveball, and it's a good one down. A nice block by Mauer. Derek Jeter was so sped up for the fastballs and the cutters that he's fooled with the curveball.
Here's Gardner. Single through the left side his last time out. 1 for 4. There's a strike. Yankees have already taken this series, but they'd love the sweep. Took the first 2 games Friday night and yesterday afternoon. The 0-1. 0-2. Last time the Twins won here in the Bronx was on July 4th of 07. Now, know one thing, the Twins come into town once a year, so you have to take that into consideration, but they just haven't been able to win. And Gardner swings and misses, and that leaves it to Mark Teixeira. So Roush has gotten tough after the first 2 men got on. Jeter struck out, and Gardner strikes out.
Yeah, we're starting to see Brett Gardner expand the strike zone a little bit more than we saw early on in the season. Clearly a fastball up, out.
Good numbers for Teixeira against Roush, 3 for 4.
I think if Mark was watching those last couple of at-bats of Derek Jeter and Brett Gardner, you're going to tell yourself, make Roush get the ball down. Likes to ride that fastball up in the zone. So Mark hit the home run yesterday on a fastball that was down. Think below your belt, and if you get one down there, turn it loose.
Starts him off with a strike.
This was yesterday. Check out the location. Down middle. Pretty easy swing from Mark to center. The baseball goes a long way. Now the Roush is ahead in the count, 0-1. Might try to start elevating.
Quickly ahead in the count, 0-2 is Roush.
It's a strange pitch, that cutter that he throws, because it's mid-80s, and you're thinking it's going to move in on your hands, and it kind of just stays middle and dips a little bit. Some of the Yankees confused.
So the Yankees are down to their final strike. First and second, 2 outs.
You climb the ladder with Brett Gardner. We'll see if he does the same thing with Mark Teixeira.
And he does, but Teixeira doesn't go up there with him.
Michael, anytime you see a pitcher elevate like that on an 0-2 count who has a curveball, you think he might be setting up the curveball. He did the same thing to Derek Jeter.
Goes at the fastball away. 2-2 on deck for the Yankees is Alex Rodriguez. He's hitting in May, that's for sure. Today he had an RBI double. Yankees have 11 hits. They've out-hit the Twins. Twins lead 6-3. 2-2. Grounded foul outside of first. Grabbed by Morneau. I'm sure Girardi would be thrilled that they could get Alex up with the bases loaded. Big right-hander gets the sign and the pitch. Strike 3, Teixeira down looking, and the Yankees lose the game 6-3. So Ron Gardenhire finally gets a victory here in the Bronx, first one since 2007. And Roush had quite a comeback there, John. 2 runners on, he strikes out the next 3 Yankees.
And this is the last pitch to Mark Teixeira, and again, it looks like it's a cutter that's going to move inside, but it stays middle in, and he gets the call. Kind of an unusual pitch and how it moves back to the middle of the plate. Roush got himself in a little bit of trouble, and then 3 consecutive strikeouts. The Twins pick up a victory.
There's one of the heroes for the Twins, Jason Kubel, with that rare home run and even rarer grand slam against Mariano Rivera as the Twins turned a 3-1 deficit into an eventual 6-3 win. We've got awards to give out. You come on back.